Good afternoon everyone, this is group 2 and our topic is utilitarianism. So by the way, what is utilitarianism? It is an ethical theory that determines right from wrong by focusing on outcomes. It is a form of consequentialism. Utilitarianism also holds that the most ethical choice is the one that will produce the greatest good for the greatest number. It is also the only moral framework that can be used to justify military force or war. It's also the most common approach to moral reasoning used in business because of the way in which it accounts for cost and benefits. However, because we cannot predict the future, it's difficult to know with certainty whether the consequences of our actions will be good or bad. This is one of the limitations of utilitarianism. Utilitarianism also has trouble accounting for values such as justice and individual rights. For example, assume a hospital has 4 people whose lives depend upon receiving organ transplants: a heart, a lungs, a kidney, and a liver. If a healthy person wanders into the hospital, his organs could be harvested to save 4 lives at the expense of 1 life. This would arguably produce the greatest good for the greatest number. But few would consider it an acceptable course of action, let alone the most ethical one. So, although utilitarianism is arguably the most reason-based approach to determining right and wrong, it has obvious limitations. It is also said utilitarianism in normative ethics, a tradition stemming from the late 18th and 19th century English philosopher and economist Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, according to which an action or type of action is right if it tends to promote happiness or pleasure, and wrong if it tends to produce unhappiness or pain.
Or behind the utilitarianism is Jeremy Bentham. So, utilitarianism is a tradition of ethical philosophy that associated with Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill. That utilitarian theories generally share 4 elements: consequentialism, welfarism, impartiality, and aggregationism. Then, welfarism. Consequentialists differs regarding what they mean by good consequence. Utilitarians endorse welfarism, which is defined as follows. Especially from a welfarist perspective, good consequences are those which increase well-being in the world, while bad consequences are those which decrease it. Philosophers use the term well-being to describe everything that is good for a person itself.
According to utilitarianism, the overall value is the world is given by the sum total of well-being in it. This means utilitarians accept aggregationism, which is defined as follows. Aggregationism is the view that the value of the world is the sum of the values of its parts, where these parts are local phenomena such as experiences, lives, or societies. When combined with welfarism and the equal consideration of interests, this view implies that we can meaningfully add up the well-being of different individuals and use this total to determine which trade-offs are worth making. Utilitarianism is committed to a conception of impartiality that builds in the equal consideration of interests. Impartiality is the view that the identity of individuals is irrelevant to the value of an outcome. Furthermore, equal weight must be given to the interest of all individuals. Accepting this conception of impartiality means treating well-being as equally valuable regardless of when, where, or to whom it occurs.